And now we hit on to Jordan Howard. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, Jordan Howard is unbearably bad. This is an F.
Turn up the headphones a little bit. Oh, yeah.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy K-Flex. I'm back here with another video, another off-season video, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, we supposed to be in the playoffs. We all know that. But today I'm going to talk about the Miami Dolphins free agents. Okay, I'm going to grade the free agents that we signed. I just made the draft video. If you have not watched that, make sure you guys tune into the draft. But today we're going to talk about the free agents that we signed. Now, real quick, shout out to people who liked the video before they even heard the sentence. Now let's get into it. I'm gonna tell y'all what I'm basing these grades off of, just so y'all know, y'all not confused. I'm basing these grades off, number one, their impact on the team. Number two, how much money they're making. So relative to, you know, what their production is versus how much money they're making. For instance, somebody that we signed on a cheap contract like a Landon Roberts, I'm not going to compare him to Bobby Wagner's linebacker stats. You know what I'm saying? I'm just about how much impact they made, how much we paid them, how much they were expecting, like expectations and stuff like that. Obviously the eye test, and then we're going to base off stats as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. In the comment section, let me know what you guys think about these people's grades. I will leave in the comment section something that you guys could copy and paste and just put the grades next to it. You can pause the video right now and let me know if you disagree or agree with the ratings. Without further ado, let's get into it because there's a lot of people that we have to speak about. It's going to be more than the rookie video, so let's get into it now. First and foremost, we're going to go to Landon Roberts. He's a solid run stopper this year, and I think that's what we thought we were picking up. I think that's what the point of us getting him was to be a solid run stopper, and I think he is a solid run stopper. However, he did not have one of his stronger years this year. He's a liability in coverage. We kind of already knew that. Okay, he wasn't going to do anything in coverage, but this year he had 13 missed tackles, which is entirely too much. So I don't see how I could give him anything other than a C-. And that's the grade I'm gonna get. He had 13 missed tackles. Keep in mind, like that's one of the highest in the league. Like as far as his tackle to missed tackle ratio, that's a lot of tackles. I don't know exactly how many. Matter of fact, let me go look how many tackles he had. So he had 61 tackles this year and 13 missed tackles. So if you do the math, that's like what, 5.5 tackles or 5 or 6 tackles per missed tackle. That's not good, especially for a linebacker who really can't cover. You know what I'm saying? That's not really a good ratio. So he missed entirely too many tackles this year. That's why I have to just go ahead and give him what I gave him, which is a C-. Okay. Heading on to the next person. Let's go on to Grugier Hill. Now I really can't rank him. I have to give him an incomplete because he was only a special teamer. So I don't really know his impact on the team. He really didn't have much impact. I don't want to give him a bad grade because when he was on the field on defense, he looked terrible. But I don't want to give him a bad grade. He wasn't on the field that many snaps. It's going to be the same way with Clayton Fejedelem. When Clayton Fejedelem was on the team, the only thing I remember when he was on the field was him getting burnt by Tyreek Hill, literally the first play he got in the game. So I don't want to rank those two guys. They were special teamers and they did what they had to do on special teams. So those guys I'm not gonna give a grade to. Then we get to Ted, okay? And Ted, I have to give him a B-. Again, Ted is just, I mean, he was just a center. He didn't elevate anything. He didn't like lead the huddle or anything, but he did his job, okay? He's not an amazing all-pro super center of the world kind of guy. You know what I'm saying? He's decent. He did his job. He only allowed 2 sacks. I gotta give him a B-. I wasn't really expecting him to be, you know, super, you know, the greatest center of all time. I wasn't expecting him to be any type of thing like the Pouncey brothers or anything like that, but he stayed healthy. And he did his job. I mean, I can't really give him a bad grade on that. And his contract wasn't too crazy or anything like that. He did what he had to do though, and so I gotta give him a B-. Again, I'm gonna skip Clayton Fejedelem, and then that leads me to Ereck Flowers. And to me, it's the same thing as with Ted, as I would say with Ereck Flowers. Now, with Ereck Flowers, he did allow 5 sacks. So if you're just looking at the sack numbers and you're just basing your offensive line ratings off the sack number, you would think that Ereck Flowers is our worst lineman, which is just not really the case. If you look at it from a big picture, he only allowed 20 total pressures, which is amongst the lowest that are on. The people that allowed the most pressures was Austin Jackson. And then, you know, even Robert Hunt allowed more pressures than him. And these are tackles, so of course they're going to allow more pressure. But Ereck Flowers definitely wasn't the problem. Now, he did allow 5 sacks because usually when somebody gets pressure through the middle, they're going to get a sack, and it's going to be hard for the quarterback to ever like throw away. At least when they get pressure from the outside, the quarterback can scramble out and possibly throw the ball away. But usually if Ereck Flowers or Solomon Kinley were to get beat, then it's probably going to be a sack because it's right up the middle. Okay, you know what I'm saying? So Eric Flowers, I have to give him the same thing, a B-. I mean, he only allowed 20 pressures on the season, and that was the lowest he's ever allowed in his career. Okay, so last year he allowed 24, and this year he allowed 20. Even though he allowed only 2 sacks last year, and he allowed 5 this year. As far as total pressures, when I say total pressures, I mean quarterback hurries, I mean quarterback hits, and I mean sacks combined. He only allowed 20, which is amongst the lowest on our team, next to Solomon McKinley, who allowed 17. So I gotta respect that in a way. I'll give him a B-. I don't think he was that bad. I think the sacks numbers do make him look a lot worse than he actually did play, and I think he did pretty decent this year. Did pretty much what I expected him. Moving on. Shaq Lawson. I gotta give Shaq Lawson, I give him a B. For what he did this season, he didn't play bad. He had 5 total sacks this year, which is 2 less than he had last year, but he had a lot more. He had more pressures, okay? So he got to the quarterback a little more. He just wasn't able to finish the job. I think he did what he did. I would give him a B. Maybe that's generous, because the thing I don't really understand about Shaq, or maybe I would take a grade off of him, is that he's the 4th highest paid player on the defense. And he didn't make that many impact plays to really, or on the team. And I wouldn't say he really made a lot of impact. I mean, he made some impactful plays, don't get it twisted. But there were other defensive players that's making a lot less than him that made a lot more impact to him. So if you want to do it relative to the rest of the team and the rest of how the rest of the defense were playing, like as far as who made the most plays on that defense, Shaq Lawson, I don't even know if he's top 5 as far as made plays, but he is top 5 and getting paid on the entire team. So if you want to mark him off for that, then I can see that. But I would give him a B. He really did his job. And so I like the Shaq Lawson pickup. Again, these defensive pickups that we have, most of them did great. So that's why the grades that you're seeing so far are so high. Okay? Heading up to Emmanuel Ogbah, I don't know how you could give him anything other than an A. 10 sacks, leads the team in sacks, and he definitely made his presence feel unlike Shaq Lawson. Shaq Lawson didn't always make his presence feel. I think that Emmanuel Ogbah made his presence felt every game. Okay? And with the exception of Xavier Howard, besides Xavier Howard, who made the most game-changing plays on that defense? It was Emmanuel Ogbah. He literally was turning, him and Xavier Howard were on strings of just turning games around, making that. I have to give him an A+. And then when you consider that he's making less than Shaq Lawson, but he greatly outshined him. I have to give him an A. He outshined everybody on our D-line, really. Was a great free agent pickup, probably maybe our best. You know, we'll see the rest of the video, but I think, you know, obviously Emmanuel Ogbah was an amazing pickup. I wasn't expecting it now. If I was knowing that one of our pass rushers would have to step up, I thought it would be Shaq Lawson, but Emmanuel Ogbah pleasantly surprised me, and his 10 sacks was amazing. Probably should have made the Pro Bowl. Got cheated. But yeah, like I said, he made game-changing plays. It wasn't just that he was getting sacks. He was getting stripped. He was making game-changing plays. So shout out to Ogbah. One of my favorite pickups. Gotta give him an A. All right? And now we head on to Jordan Howard. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, Jordan Howard is unbearably bad. This is an F. And I didn't give an F out the whole time, but this is an F. I mean, he struggled to even gain a yard. He played 5 games with us. In 3 of those games, he didn't average a yard per carry. Not one. And I understand, our run blocking was bad. Don't get it twisted, Jordan Howard. Our run blocking was bad, but you didn't average not 1 yard in 3 games? It's to a certain extent where this dude is just terrible, okay? I mean, I don't know he didn't have 1 rush over 10 yards on our team during the season. He had multiple touchdowns from goal line. He didn't have 1 rush over 10 yards. I mean, the guy was just washed. Just simply put, plain and simple, washed. Okay? That's all you can really say. He's just not very good. Okay? And while we're on the topic of running back, let's just talk about a little bit about Matt Breida. I don't really know if I could rank him. He didn't carry the ball over 10 times in 1 game. But he looked a lot better than Jordan Howard. But if I got to give Breida something, my expectations, personally, I expected him to have a way better season. So I would probably give him a C. Probably give him a D, but again, I don't want to really rank him because he didn't get more than like he wasn't getting the ball at all. I don't remember, like, he made no impact on the team. He was never getting the ball. He was injured, in and out the lineup, and it was just a lot going on with Matt Breida. So I don't know if I can fairly assess him. But if I have to give him a grade and it's forced, I'm gonna give him I can't give him I'm gonna give him about a D. Like I said, he had no touchdowns on the season. He made no impact. He kept getting hurt. Myles Gaskin was clearly the best running back, and then even Salvon or whatever, Salvon, I hope I'm saying his name right. Even he played better. You know what I'm saying? Salvon Ahmed or whatever, he played better. So I mean, at the end of the day, I have to give him a D. But I don't really want to grade him because I don't feel like I don't know. I like him, and I don't think he actually even got to run the ball like in any capacity really this year. And all our running backs had unfair shakes. Don't get it twisted because our line couldn't run block for shit. But regardless of the situation, Jordan Howard was just to a point where it was just like, even if our line was a block, I'm not sure he could have got any yards, okay? And now we get to Kyle Van Noy, and this is where it gets interesting, guys, because Kyle Van Noy he's probably the hardest person to grade on this entire list, okay, out of all our free agents, because when we pick Kyle Van Noy up and we pay him good money, well, the Miami Dolphins pay him good money, we pick Kyle Van Noy up, and this is the thing that's always been an issue with Kyle Van Noy. He's a jack of many trades, but he's a master of none. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the facts of the matter. But we knew this when we picked him up, and he's very scheme dependent. If you look at even when he played with the Patriots and he had his best year, which was the year before we got him 2 years ago, he was very scheme dependent. He got to the quarterback off of blitzes, he's super scheme dependent. That's the best way I can describe him. If you know, like, he's not a guy that's going to sit up here, hey, Kyle Van Noy, put your hand in the dirt and get to the quarterback and hit him with a pass rush move. That's just not him. He's just like you gotta put him on a blitz or something. So it's hard for me to really rank him. But if I'm going to give him a grade, I'm going to give him a B- because, like I said, he really didn't get to the quarterback as much as you would think he would have as a guy that blitz. And I don't think. And then in coverage, he just wasn't very good either. I could pull up the coverage stats, but in coverage, he just wasn't that good. And we use him as a linebacker. And I think the thing is, I think he would have been a lot better if we would have blitzed him more. According to Pro Football Focus, we blitzed him about 50% of the time. 49% of the time, we sent him after the quarterback. Last year in New England, or 2 years ago when he had his best season, they sent him after the quarterback 85% of snaps. And in that season, that was his best season. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of a situation where I think maybe we could have blitzed him more to make him a better fit. We had him in coverage a little bit too much. And he got absolutely cooked in coverage this year. He just wasn't good. So it's hard for me to really rank Kyle Van Noy because I knew when we first got him that he was just a jack of many trades but a master of none, okay? So I don't know what I'm basing him off of. I can't base him off his pass rush ability because that's not what he was bought here for, really. I can't base him off his coverage ability. That's not what he was bought for here, really. He was bought for like a mixture of both to be kind of some Swiss Army knife. And at that, I guess he did good, but he didn't excel at pass rushing this year. He didn't excel at coverage this year. He was just, decent at a little bit of everything. So I don't know. He's just a jack of many. Like I said, I don't really know how to. It's hard to rank him because it's just scheme dependent, okay? And he's always been like that. I can't get mad because he wasn't in there doing the craziest pass rush moves to get to the quarterback this year. He's always been scheme dependent. That was what we knew that when we got him, okay? So I give him a B-. I said all that. I give him a B-. Okay, I think he could have got better next year. I'm looking forward to us sending him after the quarterback a little bit more. Like I said, he was in coverage about 50% of the time, and I don't think that's good for a guy like Kyle Van Noy to be in coverage that much because this year he got exposed. Usually he's pretty good in coverage, but that's because he used to get sent. Like, New England blitzed him so much times that when he went to coverage, they wasn't really expecting it. So I think that's why his coverage stats usually look good. This year his coverage stats, if you look at them, they're just not looking too good. Okay. Last but not least, we get to Byron Jones, and I gotta give Byron Jones a C+. And I know this is surprising, but remember what I said, how I'm ranking him. Byron Jones is a good corner, but if you look at his statistics and you actually really break it down and you watch the game and you see who he was before he got to Miami, Byron Jones, this was his worst year. Okay, and I understand he was going up against the number one wide receiver, but he's been going up against the number one wide receivers, right? He had 8 missed tackles this year, which is he missed tackles at a higher rate than he's ever missed tackles before. Okay? He allowed the most yards he's ever allowed in his career. The only good thing is he had 2 picks, but he allowed more catches than he's ever allowed in his career. More yards per catch than he's ever allowed in his career. And so he might have had a good year, yes. But for his standards and for the money that he's making, he did not play up to his standards, up to par. Again, this is probably, coverage-wise, if you look at statistics, this was his worst season that he's played by far. I mean, Pro Football Focus got him ranked like the 50th best corner. I mean, this was the worst, and he still played pretty good. The only reason I'm saying he played good because I watched every game, and it wasn't like he was ever getting bullied. He was never getting picked on. He still played pretty good, and this was a bad year for him statistics-wise. So imagine when he gets good, but I can't really give him that high of a grade based off of what he did in the past, and the success that he's had in the past. This doesn't equal that success, so I can't really give him that top-notch grade. But like I said, the only reason why I'm giving him even a C+ is because during the eye test, watching the game, Byron Jones was never getting picked on. He was never a problem. But it's just when you actually take a second, look at the statistics, look at what he's done in the past, you'll see that, hey, this was actually an off year for him. And you can look it up, Google it, do whatever you got to do if you don't believe me. But I got to give him a C+ for that alone. So real quick, you guys see all the grades. Emmanuel Ogbah, I think, was probably our best pick. If I'm talking about value, which is how much we paid him versus how much production we got, I think that Emmanuel Ogbah, you got to say, was our best pickup of the offseason. Our worst had to be Jordan Howard. And like I said, me giving Byron Jones a C+ doesn't mean he played terribly. He played good. But for his standards, for his price, for what he was supposed to be, he did not live up to his expectations all the way, okay? Get in the comments, know what you guys think. Tagovailoa, like I said, jack of many trades, master of none, okay? But we knew that when we got here, he's very, very scheme dependent, okay? But anyways, get in the comments, know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe. Roll to 10K. Okay, flexing. I'm out.